Hi everyone, the Welshman here, Coach Andrew, filming live from No Remorse CrossFit in Watertown. You can find us at 1291 Fatchney Drive, which is behind the Chamber of Commerce here in Watertown, New York. You can Facebook us, or you can give us a call on 315-728-9348. Okay, it's a great place to train. It's loads of fun, great people here. We'll get you your goals and a whole lot of fun along the way. Come check us out. It's the only place to do CrossFit, and it's the only place to work out. It's a beautiful day up here. We look forward to seeing you. Today we're going to look at nutrition, and I think we're going to do a foundation today. We're going to talk about the foundation of what we're looking at in general, and we'll break it down in the future. Okay, so the basics are fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. And we're going to try and get away from some of the myths and some of the misinformation that's been thrown out there, a lot of confusion, which people then get disheartened and they don't understand and they don't know where to turn to. So let's just break it down. Fats, believe it or not, they're actually very good for you. What the number one thing we need to look at is it's all about the quality. So remember that, quality before quantity all the time. Fats, even saturated fats. Did I say saturated fat? That's really good for us? No way. Yes, it is. It is good for us. Since the dawn of time, Paleolithic area, all the way up to now, we've always eaten saturated fats. Our history, human history, has shown that saturated fat is actually good for us, okay? It helps us with the evolving of our brains, our body. Physically, saturated fats has had a great part to play in that. And again, it comes down to the quality of that fat. It's naturally in the foods that we eat. Saturated fat is in eggs, it's in meats, it's in nuts. Nature naturally gives us the fats to go with the proteins. So why is it suddenly bad for us? Because of processing, refining our food so much that it becomes poor quality, and that's how far food has fallen, hence the rise of the fast food chain industry, which is unfortunately dominating and misleading a lot of people and hurting a lot of people as well along the way. So hopefully this segment will give you more of an understanding, a basic understanding of what good nutrition is, okay, and what to look out for. First of all, everyone's nutrition is going to be a little bit different than the person next to you or anyone else who you talk to about their diet, okay? Diet's a 4-letter word. I don't like particularly using it that much. I don't like 4-letter words. So let's just keep it as your eating habits, okay? So what might work for me may not work exactly for you, but you just tweak it a little bit, and it's just a matter of tweaking, that's all it is. So fats are very good for us. Saturated fats are in all those sources of food I just mentioned just now. Saturated fat is actually a very clean source of energy for us, okay? So it's very important for regulating our body, giving us an energy source. We don't feel tired. If you just eat protein, if you eat like a very high protein, low fat, low carb diet, you're still gonna feel tired, especially if that meat, the protein you're eating, is lean. If it's too lean, you'll still feel hungry. So be aware of that, okay? Our fats are very important, and there's the issue of omega-6s and 3s. Without getting too technical, but there's a balance with all foods, and it's just taking things in moderation, okay? So you should always have, I do recommend this actually, there's Paul and Shu Xing Jaminet, I hope I didn't butcher their name there, but they have a great website which you can look up on Google it, and it's called Perfect Health Diet, and they'll be able to go more in depth with what I'm trying to explain to you now. And so I'd highly recommend, and they recommend, and I back up as well, 20% carbs on your plate with 65% fats and 15% protein, okay? So you get a good balance. So these are the macronutrients, okay? Please look that up. So there's your fats. Quality is key. Carbs. Hope we're not moving on too fast here. Carbs. Good in moderation. Now, again, you have carbs, you have two types. You have your low and high glycemic, or your simple and your complex. Now we want to be more towards the complex side of things. That means it's a slow burner. It's not when you inhale carbohydrates from potato and rice and breads and things like that. You don't want the spike. You don't need to have an insulin spike. If you have low glycemic, which is your sugars and very refined foods, it causes an insulin spike in the body. That means that your body's breaking down the food, all this energy is just exploding into the bloodstream, and insulin is created to try and take it around the body. Now if there's too much of an insulin spike, your body has nowhere to put it except for as fat. It actually builds fat cells to store it for a later date, so when you need it. So we're not looking, if you want to lose body fat, you're not looking for that insulin spike. You're looking for a steady release of energy. So as your body brings it in, it's using it as it goes along. It doesn't need to store it as much. So that you want to go towards the complex carbohydrates. Now when you have like your salads, you can have potatoes on there. I mean, if you have, say for example, a sweet potato, you know, that's anything that's orange anyway is generally pretty good, because it has cancer fighting properties in there. So orange is a good sign, and it's a little bit not as high glycemic as many other carbohydrates like your regular potato. And if you have most of your plate as potato, for example, I think you may need to reevaluate your portion sizes and your percentages on your plate, okay? So carbs, again, it's not a bad thing. Be wise with it. Don't go overdoing it. Now, if you find it hard to cut down your plate, it's usually because you maybe having too much of the high glycemic carbohydrates, which is obviously too much sugar, basically breaking down the sugars in your body, and sugar is highly addictive. That's why people struggle to get off it. And it's just simply a case of going cold turkey. You have to wean yourself down or stop it altogether and detox the body, and it could take some time. You could have some side effects like headaches, even moodiness, to name a few. So please be aware that maybe wean it down slowly but surely, so you're not giving yourself a total cut off, but start to cut it back and start to replace it with more of the complex carbohydrate to get yourself on the road to a winning end line, okay? So you're actually going to reach your goals. So stay away from refined or heavily processed, okay? That's again the key, quality over quantity. Now we're going to look at briefly proteins. Lean is good, but now that we know about the fat side of things and your quality, you're always looking for quality, organic or even above organic. Organic is not the top. Just throwing that out there, okay? Lean is good, but don't be afraid of having some fats in there. There's nothing wrong with having 80, 85, 90% lean with having fat with it. As long as the quality, good meat is there and good fats with it, there shouldn't be an issue. Now if you're eating I'll just pick on a supermarket, Walmart, and it's $2 for 2 pounds worth of the stuff, the likelihood is the reason why it's cheap is because it is a cheap product. So you know, be smart with your money, be smart with your life and your health. There's only one of you, you're unique, and respect yourself, respect your body, and it'll take care of you as well. So I'm now going to look at organic and the rest. So I'm going to give you a counter argument. I've heard many times from people, I can't afford organic, I can't afford the better quality. I'm going to put this towards you. So you have your big mound of food, you've shopped at some supermarket that's pretty cheap, and you have a big mound of food and you've eaten it all up, and after 20 minutes you crash. Maybe shortly after you crash, you have that carb crash where you feel like, oh, I'm just so tired. I think we've all been there, and you want to go for a little nap. You undo the top button of your pants, and you're just breathing heavily. You may have a little snooze. You wake up and you open the fridge, and you're looking up and down the aisles and you can't see anything. You close the fridge, you go back and sit down. 5 minutes later, you're back up again. You go back to the fridge. You open the door again. You just visited the fridge, and you don't know what you're looking for, but you know you need something. That means that even though you've eaten that big mound of food, it's lacking nutrient density. It's lacking the vital nutrients you're so much craving for, and you're trying to get your head around it. Well, there must be everything in that plate, but there's not. Your body needs a lot more than just calories. A calorie in doesn't mean a calorie out. You can't just calorie count and expect to be all rosy. So what was if I was to say, instead of spending say like $50 on twice as much, if you spent, let me rephrase that. If organic was a few cents more or $1 more, and you're eating less, rather than eating that mound, once for to say if you had half as much, but you felt satisfied and filled, and you're not eating twice as much then, just to try and get the nutrients in you. So in a way, it'll actually balance out, if that makes sense. Spend by twice as much to try and fill your plate so you can get the nutrients in, or eat half as much, spending approximately the same amount of money because you're not buying as much, but you're feeling satisfied and having you're having less urges to try and go back to the fridge because you know your body is actually telling you that you're lacking in something, but you don't know what it is. So there's a thought for you to go away with and ponder about. Organic is not the highest. It's actually the foundation of where all our food should come from. It's just a shame that's how far we have fallen in our eating habits. Organic, it seems to be painted up here. It's not. It's the foundation, but the rest of the food has fallen off so dramatically. Suddenly it feels like that's so good. It's not. It is good, but it's our foundation. There's much better than organic. We just need to get back there. And just look over the past 50 years. When people ate all the saturated fats and everything else, there wasn't the obesity problem, and it wasn't the heart disease and diabetes and things like that. There wasn't those issues to that as to the levels that it is right now. So it doesn't take much, but all you need to do is look back over time and see the changes that we have put in place, and because we've been tampering with the food, all these problems have started to come about. So think about your health, think about your life and how you want to move on, and please reach out to us at No Remorse CrossFit. We'll be happy to help you as well. We look forward to seeing you and making each person's life better for the future. So I hope you've taken away some good points there. You can visit us, or visit our Facebook page and ask us some questions. We'll be happy to hear from you. This is only a basic overview, but I hope that I've put some of your questions, answered some of your questions, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and enjoy the summer. I'll be back in the next couple of days with an exercise, and we'll be back to supplementation. Okay, so thank you so much and take care, guys. From Coach Andrew, the Welshman from No Remorse CrossFit New York. Take care.